North Carolina.
Somebody takes intellectual property appropriation and he went into litigation and then finally
Sounds like it suits his personality better.
So it's a very interesting case. Very similar to that.
You think I'm confrontational? He hadn't been out of it.
It is a theme from the Northwest in Argentina, that's a folkloric theme, which at the end they also have to set on the claims. There is something very, when I whistle,
Tell Alan you met me. I'm Tom Preston.
don't realize.
I went to law school. He had my actually went to Memphis his first year. I had my dad.
The casino always calls me.
He loved my dad. And they transferred.
Dad was
The thing
not
is that
He went to Vanderbilt.
it connects some melodies, it connects some chords, some connect with others, and
They lost his
it's like when you're reading a phrase can be inserted into another one. Or when you look at the painting and you see so many artists that
I saw all of that.
their face is a different story. They will put the face into the same
Alan and I were on the same page. He said the only thing we weren't on the same page was I'm a huge Carolina.
Oh my gosh, they're building a gorgeous, gorgeous new building that's just going to be good. They do.
They do. I thought about it when they lost that. Three bad. You're going to see it. He's really one of my favorite people.
He says you don't have to practice law, but he just thinks it's a great education.
I had a case in Chattanooga and I couldn't find it. And on Tom Preston. National Memphis. You know what they call Memphis? Capital Mississippi.
Oh, yeah, well, that's
They'd be happy to kick it right off the side.
No, I saw some U.S. District Awards.
It was about the deal where they had to pay rents. They stayed rent.
Yes, that was
evictions.
Yeah,
He said you could have.
yeah, I remember that, and he would not.
Alan would have made a friend.
Oh, they're proceeding in. No. I didn't mean to. I was mistakenly looking for him in here, which I didn't need to do. I'm a little rusty. It's been a while. I came in looking for him. Oh, now I see what you mean about extra chairs. Yeah, I'll get a few chairs.
Elementary school, so yeah, and his son is Thomas's age. So. Our view is Thomas's age. Told him when he came, he said,
Everybody. My name is Axtor. I'm the chair of the music department at UVA, and I welcome all of you here today, students, faculty, staff, family, and friends, to the 2022 UVA department graduation ceremony. I'm absolutely thrilled to be with you today. We are here to celebrate the remarkable achievements of our graduating music majors and PhD recipients. and they are many. We've asked our majors to share some of the highlights of their time here, and we'll get to those eventually. List of exciting courses, concerts, collaborations. But one of the reasons I love teaching in a music department is that we do not need to be told about the accomplishments of our students. Quite often, students' greatest accomplishments only appear to their professors and students in the class. But in a music department, students perform their excellence regularly for appreciative audiences. We know they are good. And we as faculty get to enjoy the products of their hard work as both avid listeners and collaborators. We'll miss their mellifluous sounds as they move on to other adventures, other stages, and other pursuits. As we know, this graduating class is like no other at UVA. Starting with all the hope and promise of other entering classes, they were thrown into an unprecedented situation, of course, in March 2020, as the university and much of the world shut down. Regular concerts took a long time to come back to Old Capitol Hall, but they are back, and I'm very excited for that. But in those concerts' absence, these students, along with their faculty, built unique skills in offering their music by other means. They made virtual choirs and performance videos. They learned streaming technology. They entered professional recording studios and learned how to perform under their guidance and restrictions. While live concerts were constrained, these opportunities added to students' skill sets and created a body of music that we will be able to return to and enjoy for the rest of our lives. And that's just an amazing thing that we're able to turn that lack of concertizing into recordings that are going to be with us forever. This class also saw the return of live music to OCH, and thankfully the return of face-to-face graduation ceremonies like this. As I said, I'm so happy to be with you here today and to celebrate the music department class of 2022. Our first order of business is to recognize our PhD recipients, and for that I would like to introduce Dr. Nomi Dave, our director of the graduate program.
Hello everyone, thank you for being here. And first and foremost, I want to start by saying many thanks to Carl Axtor Miller for all his work during his time, during a time that we've actually just run out of adjectives for. So Carl, thank you so much for everything you've done as chair, and we're really grateful for all of your efforts. So as Carl said, I'm the Director of Graduate Studies, and I'm delighted to be here today to announce the PhD students who are receiving their degrees. We have 3 PhDs from our program to announce, but before I do that, I just want to give you all a little bit of background. So to the parents of the undergraduate students here, you may know that the PhD students teach your children, and they're often the first and, quite frankly, the favorite ports of call for all questions and concerns. Also, they actually get them their grades on time. So I think that our undergrads will agree that our graduate students, our PhD students, are excellent and caring teachers and mentors. We have 2 tracks in our PhD program. Composition and computer technologies, and critical and comparative studies. Many of our students are accomplished artists and emerging experts in their own research fields. They do research on music and sound in the US and around the world. They're engaged in critical political work, and many of them collaborate with and in support of people in marginalized communities. They compose electroacoustic music, produce podcasts, record albums, lead digitization projects, uncover new histories and archives, make films, build instruments, curate exhibits, create art installations, and on top of all of that, they write massive dissertations. They're a vital and greatly valued part of our graduate community, of our department community. So I'm going to call the students one by one onto stage. They will be hooded by their advisor, which is a spectacle that you're about to see. And we have a little bit to say about them, and I'll invite you to clap after I'm done with my remarks for each one. So I would like to invite Kyle Chaddleton to the stage. Kyle was advised by Professor Michelle Kislyak, and he submitted a dissertation titled "The Sono-Affective in Charlottesville's Response to the Summer of Hate." So let me tell you a little bit about Kyle. First of all, his dissertation. His dissertation explores the role of sound and music in building community here in Charlottesville after the white supremacist violence in August 2017. And as this research project suggests, Kyle is deeply committed to participating in local life and civic engagements here in Charlottesville. In addition to attending city council meetings and demonstrations and researching history here at UVA, he was also deeply involved in the department and the graduate student community here. He was a member of the Graduate Student Council, and he was a fellow in the Power, Violence, and Inequality Collective. He's currently doing work in public history at Monticello. And as I can also attest as a regular listener, for years he's been the host of a weekly radio show at WTJU. So if you get a chance to speak to Kyle afterwards, you can ask him about local radio and politics. So please join me in congratulating Kyle. Okay, I'm going to have to rein in the emotions. I'd now like to invite Tracy Stewart to the stage. Tracy was advised by myself, Nomi Leve, and her dissertation is titled Music, Memory, Power, Being Jamaican Maroon in the Past, Present, and Future. Years, I think, long research that predated even her time here at UVA, research that she did among Maroon communities in Jamaica, exploring the ways in which Jamaican Maroon people view their identity based on history, politics, and of course music. Because based on all of these years of experience, as I mentioned, Tracy was able to build very strong relationships with local people, and she told their stories in rich and vivid prose in her dissertation. She also has a sparkling sense of humor that comes through in her work. So if you get a chance to speak to her afterwards, make sure to ask her about the survival chicken and chips. While at UVA, Tracy was awarded a predoctoral fellowship through the Carter G. Woodson Institute. And I'm delighted to say that she's now starting as assistant professor of music at Swarthmore College this fall. Rami Stuckey, I'd like to invite Rami to the stage. And Rami was advised by Carl Hextrom Miller. His dissertation is titled When Bossa Nova Was, the Sounds and Flavors of Brazilian Music in the United States during the 1960s. And I'll tell you a little bit, I'm sure everyone's interested in by the title already, but I'll tell you a bit about Rami's research. He explores the impact of Brazilian music in mid-century pop culture here in the United States, including thinking through questions of race, class, foreign policy, labor law, consumerism, and the music industries. And his project involved not just prose chapters, so written work, but also an extensive database that Rami created to archive jazz performances, and which he's now developing into an innovative interactive website. Rami is also a brilliant percussionist and has been an integral part of the jazz community and the jazz ensemble here at UVA. To show you his versatility, he also developed his skills in geographic information systems. I'm still not sure what that is, so you can ask Rami afterwards. He interned at the State Department. He was a fellow at the UVA Americas Center, and he had a pre-doctoral fellowship with the Jefferson Scholars Foundation. Congratulations, Rami.
Before we move on to undergraduate awards, I'd like the opportunity for you to meet some of the faculty members that have worked with graduate students and undergraduate students. And I'll just start with me first. I'm Axtor. I am a pop music historian, and I look at and teach about popular music in the United States.
Good afternoon. Congratulations to all the graduates. My name is Elliot Tackett. I'm the director of bands here at the University of Virginia, so I conduct with my colleagues as well the concert ensembles and the marching ensembles, athletic ensembles.
Good afternoon, welcome and congratulations. I'm Ted Coffey. I teach in the program in composition and computer technologies and teach courses in songwriting, computer music, and poetics of record making.
My name is Michael Curie. I'm currently teaching in the College Fellows program. This is for entering first years. And when I teach in the music department, it's music theory and history.
Violin. I direct the Borough Orchestra, and I play in the Charlottesville Symphony.
My name is Ijun Fang, and I'm the percussion instructor here. I direct the percussion ensemble, new music ensemble, and also play as a principal percussionist with the Charlottesville Symphony.
Hi, and congratulations. I'm Michelle Kislyak. I teach performance theory and improvisation and play and ethnographic writing, and I lead the African Music and Dance Ensemble.
Hi, I'm Fred Moss. I'm the director of undergraduate programs, and I'll be occupying that role for a few minutes soon. I teach music theory and special topics courses, for instance, on music and disability, music and sexuality, and I teach a deep listening course about contemplation and sound.
Hello again. My name is Naomi Dave. I teach classes on music, sound, politics, and the law. I'm director of graduate studies, as you know, and I'm also co-director of the Sound Justice Lab.
Hello, I'm Andrew Cook. I'm the associate director of bands here. I work with Elliot doing all concert bands and athletic bands.
Hello, and congratulations to several of my students that I have had in private voice who are graduating today. My name is Pamela Beasley. I teach private voice and voice-related subjects, including private voice and also a voice class in the fall and spring class on voice and the stage.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Gordon, and I teach early music and a number of other various history things. Outside of music, I'm a faculty director of the Equity Center and the Sound Justice Lab.
And I'll just say, from all of us here, we're going to miss you. And this is an emotional time for a lot of us. Now I'd like to introduce Fred Moss, the director of the undergraduate program, to talk about student awards.
As director of undergraduate studies, I work with music majors in several ways. I help students declare the major and find an appropriate music major advisor on the faculty. Sometimes I'm that advisor. Throughout their time as majors, I'm available for consultation. I'm responsible for knowing the department and college policies that apply to their years as music majors. And and I need to know how to find those policies when I don't already know them. Each spring, there are a lot of policies, as you all know very well. Each spring, I guide the department faculty in determining several department awards that we give to graduating students. My role today is to announce those awards. I will announce each type of award separately. After each, I will invite recipients to stand for all of us to acknowledge them. Many of our students are double majors, and some are not at today's ceremony because of other events. Some of these will join us later at our reception. Please congratulate them then. I begin by mentioning non-departmental awards that some of our students have received. Willow Kwok and Lauren Schmidt were elected to Phi Beta Kappa this spring. Lauren has also received the Carl O. Trindle Award for Excellence in Chemistry. The music department gives departmental recognition awards at graduation for outstanding achievements of majors and sometimes non-majors during their final year. This year, departmental recognition goes to 9 students, including 1 non-major. Jeff Dutter for his outstanding work and his contributions helping his classmates in the course Learn to Groove. Josh Iger for writing, mounting, and conducting his original musical, Believer, a cult musical. Rachel Kessler for her outstanding work and her contributions helping her classmates in Learn to Groove. Anthony Murphy Nielsen for his excellent performance in the symphony, the Baroque Orchestra, and in his private lessons. Julia Preston for her contributions as an alto in University Singers and Chamber Singers and as the U Singers historian, helping to promote performances on social media and UVA platforms. Olivia Scheid for outstanding participation in the symphony, which continued after she graduated in December, something we don't necessarily expect. Lauren Schmidt for outstanding contributions as a performer in the symphony and chamber groups, her administrative work with Marcy Day, and her service in the Charlottesville Symphony's Players Committee. Ben Trombetta for his senior recital and his contributions as a tenor in the University Singers and Chamber Singers, as well as empathetic and dedicated work as the U Singers General Manager. Sometimes we also award departmental recognition to non-majors who have remarkable musical achievements over the last year. This year, we want to recognize non-major Vahid Talabian, well known to many music faculty, for his senior project, an original musical, Piece by Piece, created and performed this year. That means 2 musicals. I don't know if we're going to continue the upward trend or not, but that's pretty amazing. Vahid's musical, along with other activities, has also been recognized this spring by the Ryder Otis Prize of the Serpentine Society. Majors are eligible to apply for our Distinguished Majors program, in which 4th-year students prepare a major project, such as a recital, composition, or thesis essay. Faculty evaluate the completed projects, and if they're of excellent quality, may recommend that students graduate with distinction in music. This year, Joshua Eigen is graduating with high distinction for an outstanding vocal recital. And Lauren Schmidt is graduating with highest distinction in music for an outstanding violin recital. And I skipped a step. Could the 2 of you with distinction stand, please? And could the recipients of departmental recognition belatedly stand, please? Morrison Prize is the department's most broadly defined award for undergraduates, recognizing outstanding overall achievement at the end of a student's undergraduate years. This year, 6 students received the Morrison Prize: Lauren Schmidt, Olivia Scheid, Ben Trombetta, Catherine Mosier Perry, Anthony Murphy Nielsen, and Matthias Zuffoletti. Could you please stand? Prizes, of course, our degree from UVA, major in music. All of our majors have worked hard over the past few years and achieved wonderful things. As I mentioned, I've interacted with all of them as director of undergraduate programs. I've also worked with many of them as a teacher. This is an extraordinary group, and their commitment has been tested in unique ways. I think we've all experienced a lot of pain over the last 2 years with a pandemic and a European war, along with whatever other stressors individuals may have encountered. Among other things, music performance has faced unique limitations because of health precautions. One of my central goals in this time in working with my students and colleagues has been for all of us to lift each other's spirits. I've tried to remind these wonderful students, and they have always reminded me, that when the world is at its most dismaying, there is also beauty. This year, for the first time, we've given chords to graduating students. They are pink, the traditional color for music degrees, and I think they are beautiful. I note that pink is also the color of the lobby in Old Capitol Hall. These chords are new to our department ceremony, but there's another kind of chord that musicians talk about all the time. As we were arranging to give these pink chords, I kept remembering those other chords, and I wondered, why are we giving the graduates chords and not chords? Finally, I asked Matthew Bertner and Ted Coffey if they would like to compose a chord for each graduating major. They loved the idea and each composed 10 chords. As a special congratulation from our department, each graduating major will receive a chord and a chord. I'm the only person so far who has seen the chords this time. They're gorgeous, and each is very different from the others. At the reception, you might enjoy comparing them. To say farewell to this group of majors, I want to share a beautiful poem, Blessing the Votes, by the great poet Lucille Clifton. Let's see if I can hold it together emotionally. May the tide that is entering even now the lip of our understanding carry you out beyond the face of fear. May you kiss the wind, then turn from it, certain that it will love your back. May you open your eyes to water, water waving forever. And may you, in your innocence, sail through this to that. Congratulations.
The time for the presentation of undergraduate scrolls and certificates to our graduating class. I'm going to ask, as I call your name, to come up and receive your scroll from our faculty. And as you take a moment, as I read the reflections that you shared with us about some of the highlights of your time here. Again, some of our graduates are unable to attend today due to other commitments, but I will read their names nonetheless. Jeff Dutter. Joshua Eiger. In Joshua's time at UVA, he played the role of the baker in the woods, as well as vocal directed for Spectrum's production of Dogfight and Who Are You? Pitt directed for Spectrum's production of Heathers, and First Year Players' production of Singin' in the Rain. A lot of musicals going on here. Josh subsequently composed, directed, and produced an original musical that you heard before, Believer, a cult musical, which you can now listen to on Spotify and Apple Music. Those digital skills. Josh was always also the musical director of his a cappella group, Who's in the Stairwell, and recently performed his Dnp Recital of Voice featuring sets by Kurt Weill, Stephen Sondheim, and Franz Schubert. Josh plans on continuing his pursuit of music next year at the Writing and Design Musical Theater program with the Berklee College of Music's NYC campus. Ladson Ellis. Ladson participated in jazz ensemble and jazz combo. Over his 4 years, he's been in 3 bands, including his current band, Backseat Driver, which is made up of friends he made in the first year jazz combo. They also play songs that were written in Ted Coffey's songwriting class. Congratulations, man. Blake Howard. Blake made Dean's List in the fall of 2021 and was inducted into Sigma Alpha Lambda earlier the same year. Blake completed 12 full-length albums while at UVA under the moniker The Agenda. What have y'all done in the past 4 years? Blake is leaving us with a 3.9 GPA. In the fall, Blake will be starting the MFA program in creative writing at the City University of London. Rachel Kessler. Minhee Kwok. Amy Lim. During her time in the music department, Amy worked with Professor Noel Mobley and the Black Power Station and participated in the Global Mentors Program, also working with ex-Mendina based out of Mankanda, South Africa. Amy also worked with Professors Bonnie Gordon and Nomi Dave in the Sound Justice Lab. Most recently, Amy had a final performance playing an intermediate art piece on her harp at the Bridge Progressive Arts Initiative for Alex Christie's photosonic composition class. Catherine Moore. Catherine Moser Perry. While at UVA, Catherine took 3 years of classical voice lessons with Pamela Group for 3.5 years and served as the group's musical director for 2 years and president for a year. Choose was a huge highlight of her college experience, and she's grateful for all the friends and memories she made through it. She also sang at the Chi Alpha Christian Fellowship worship team and on the Crew Christian Fellowship worship team. Catherine was also a member of MICE, our mobile interactive computer ensemble under the leadership of Matthew Bertner, where she performed computer music with classmates around ground and the university's computer music festival, Technosonics. 2 of her favorite projects for the music major were her compositions, Song of the Lost for flute and percussion, written in her Intro to Comp class taught by Leah Reed, and Empty Questions, written in the songwriting class taught by Ted Coffey. This August, she will be starting her career as a math teacher at Annandale High School and hopes to help with musical extracurricular activities at the school within a few years. Congratulations. Matthew Parsons. Matthew has been singing and playing guitar for the past 12 years. He spent much of his 4th year playing shows in the Charlottesville area with his cover band, First Lady. His most memorable music event at UVA was sharing the stage with Leon Bridges at one of the band's gigs. Congratulations, Matthew. Julia Preston. Julia first found her musical home at UVA through the University Singers. She's been a member of the group for 8 semesters and served as the secretary, publicity chair, and historian of the group's student executive board. This summer, she'll be working briefly with Professor Swan on a historical project for the group. Julia also sang with the UVA Chamber Ensemble and worked with Bonnie Gordon and Madison House to serve as a teacher for the music practice program, which aimed to help middle and high school music students in the Charlottesville area maintain their practice habits during the pandemic. Outside of the music department, Julia was cast member of Into the Woods and Mystery of Edwin Drood through the First Year Players. She also vocal directed the First Year Players production of The Music Man, served as producer of the organization for the 2021 season, and held several roles on the CIO's production staff. She cannot wait to see where her musical interests take her after graduation. Congratulations, Julia. Olivia Scheid. Olivia was a section violinist with the Charlottesville Symphony, continued to play with the symphony even after her December 2021 graduation, as we heard before. She played with the jazz ensemble as a violinist, not a common combination, but it went very well, and recorded on 6 tracks of the Infernal Resistance jazz album led by Professor John DeEarth. Olivia studied with Professor David Cerritti, who joined her in the recording studio on several tracks, leading the Resiliency Jazz Quartet. She performed for tea time recitals, Arts on the Hill, Brass Fest, and in a master class given by Anyango Yaba Davenport. Olivia also was committed to helping other music students meet their goals and never declined a student request for accompaniment and collaboration. She played student compositions for Professor Leah Reed's course and Ted Coffey's studio sound course. She assisted music major Carolyn Shetlit with her conducting DNP. She played violin on soon-to-be-released rap music video for music major Samson Miller. Most recently, she joined members of the Charlottesville Symphony to perform live with the Charlottesville Ballet. Olivia already misses her UVA Music Department and Charlottesville Symphony family. Congratulations, Olivia. Lauren Schmidt. While at UVA, Lauren was a violinist in the Charlottesville Symphony, studied violin privately with Professor Dan Sender, and played both violin and viola in the chamber music program. She was awarded the 2021 UVA Distinguished Artist in Music Award by the UVA Arts Council. As a DNP student, she performed a 4th-year recital focused on Hungarian music from the early 20th century. In addition to performance, Lauren was the chair of the Charlottesville Symphony Players Committee, a representative of the UVA Student Council Arts Agency, worked for the music department, thank you, Lauren, as a promotions assistant and desk supervisor, for the symphony as a bowing assistant, and for the music library as a circulation assistant and student supervisor. She is also a Miller Arts Scholar and was the recipient of the Miller Arts Rising 4th Year Award to fund a year-long project in the arts. Congratulations, Lauren. Hannah Thompson. Hannah's been a member of U Singers for 8 semesters, studied with in Pamela Beasley's vocal studio for 8 semesters, was both a general and executive member of the Acoustics. You see what we did there? Acoustics. That's one of the greatest a cappella names. The Acoustics a cappella group was cast as an ensemble member of 2 musicals with the drama department and vocal directed 2 student theater musicals, one an original creation by another student. Thank you, Hannah, and congratulations. Noah Tinsley. Samuel Townsend. While at UVA, Samuel wrote several songs, both for classes and outside the classroom. He also created an electric guitar synthesizer using a Bella, which contains a breadboard and sensors to create sound. He also taught himself how to DJ as a way to share his music with others. Congratulations, Samuel. Hannah Yee. Hannah was a member of the Cavalier Marching Band, the All Strings Considered String Quartet, coached by Ann Beliza. That also might be the best name of a chamber group, the All Strings Considered String Quartet. And the New Music Ensemble. The New Music Ensemble performed the world premiere of her composition, A Card Game, this spring. Congratulations, Hannah. Matthias Ugaletti. Throughout his time as a music student at UVA, Matthias is most grateful for his collaborations composing music for an anthology podcast and 2 original dance performances. He wants to thank Professor Reed and Professor Osmond for their mentorship and many lessons that influenced not only his music and songwriting, but his greater education at UVA. He's also grateful to Professor Rouse and Professor Coffey, whose assignments resulted in the creation of many short compositions and songs, which Matthias hopes to keep working on in the future. Congratulations, Matthias. have a possible couple other latecomers running in from other events. Is Anthony here? There we go. Anthony Murphy Nielsen. Anthony played bass in the Charlottesville Symphony and took private lessons under Principal Pete Spar. He learned how to play violon for the UVA Early Music Ensemble and won a scholarship for his effort from the Wednesday Music Club. He was admitted into the Miller Arts Scholars Program and served as the outreach chair for the organization. Anthony also sang in Who's in the Stairwell, UVA's a cappella group that performs primarily Broadway show tunes. He played electric bass in the pit orchestra for Spectrum Theater's production of Heathers, and upright bass in the first-year players' production of Singin' in the Rain. Right before the pandemic hit, he joined Barbers of Seaville. Oh, we got it's in the running now. Barbers of Seaville, a new barbershop singing society at UVA, and his own barbershop quartet, the Society of Fellows, won novice champions of the Southern Division in the Mid-Atlantic District competition of the Barbershop Harmony Society. Finally, he used skills learned from classes in the music department to record, mix, master, and entirely self-produce 2 albums for his a cappella group, alongside fellow graduating music major Josh Iger. And he also started his own podcast. Congratulations, Anthony. Was Ben able to make it? Okay. Ben Trobetta. I'd like the graduating students to stand, please.
I just want to say, I noticed that Vaid has walked in. Did as much in music as majors typically do, and who was recognized earlier with departmental recognition for his musical.
All right, I'm going to ask everybody to give a final round of applause in a second for our graduating class. But I just want to say we are so proud of you. We are so impressed by the remarkable amount of work and quality of work that you have done in your time at UVA. We are thankful for you sharing it with us throughout the past many years, and we will miss you dearly as you move on to other events. Don't be a stranger. Come back and say hi. And we know that you are destined to go on and do great things with the stuff that you've learned here, because you've already shown that you do. I'd like to give a final round of applause to the graduating class of 2022. Of the, no, not yet. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's not in the program. Now we're gonna take the opportunity to take a class picture of the graduating group, right? You want it up here? Yeah. And then I hope that you all can stay around and meet and chat in our reception across the hallway. Thanks, everybody.
you